All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about weight loss and really, something that is plaguing America, and now as globalization happens, the world, right? And that's obesity and weight loss in this estrogen dominance world that we're starting to live in. Before we kick that off, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. So as these videos come live, you get notified, and YouTube says that you will, so apparently you will. Today I've got Antoine and Sid, and I will let them you guys probably know Sid because he's been on here a bunch. And but real quick, Sid, you want to introduce Antoine and then let's go from there.
Antoine is one of the most brilliant guys that I know that is not a pharmacist or a physician. He surrounds himself with them on a daily basis. Probably knows more than 90% of them walking the face of the earth. I have him here today because some of the drugs we're going to discuss and some of the topics we're going to discuss, he's a master in and really understands. And I really think there's a lot of value that will be brought to you by hearing him talk. He's going to do his best to talk to us so we all understand it. And remember that, we're normal walks of life here, not physicians. But no, he'll do a fantastic job. And he works with a pharmacy, South Lake Pharmacy, which I do a lot of my meds with, that and APS, but the peptide, the weight loss special we have right now with the GW, the NAD, and the MOTS-C is actually his little concoction, and he knows about it intimately. So I wanted to have him there and him here, so I didn't do any injustice trying to explain it. So yeah. Thanks for coming aboard, brother.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate it, Sid. And Nick, just a little bit of my background, man. I first went to school for physical therapy. I went to do PTA, and I loved it. Graduated, and I just came to a realization that majority of the population, like as you said, have issues that have come to be when they were younger, growing up in life, their nutrition, things that came on. A lot of people that were coming to me for physical therapy that had knee problems, it wasn't ironic that most of them were overweight, or they had lower back problems. And once again, it comes back to like obesity. The weight is the issue, or their health is the underlying issue. And it's not just about take 2 of these and, call me in the morning type thing. It's more about like, what can I really do to figure that out? So I had an opportunity to go back to nutrition and more exercise science, sports physiology, and see what's the difference. Nick, I used to see people train for 4 months and make a drastic transformation in their body composition, health, everything. And then you see people train for 4 years and they look exactly the same, right? So I'm like, there has to be a method behind the madness, right? There definitely has to be something going on if we can figure that out. So I wanted to see like, what can I cheat with? Where's the cheat at? Where's the hack? Where's the biohacking at this? So I wanted to be able to see like what I can do, what we can take, what can we optimize to help advance weight loss, advance health, and get you back to feeling good, energy levels, sleeping good, everything, man, to get you back to where you feel like you were younger. And that's what I kind of just want to specialize in. So I deal with physicians like Six said on a daily basis, and pharmacists and biosynthesists and all kinds of chemists to try and get these things in a right order to get these medications out to our clients.
So how long have you been doing this?
Man, I've been in the industry for like over 12 years. I personally coach clients. I worked in medical weight loss facilities. I've worked in, hormone optimization centers, TRT clinics, DOs, internal medicine doctors. I've worked in multiple different places, and just now I'm more of like a consultant and towards it, and get on board and see like what's the best situation for which clients and what's a good medication for them, and help lead clinics and physicians and patients in the right direction.
Excellent. So let's paint the stage here. So currently, well, this is from 1718. It takes these studies a little bit a while, and you guys have probably known, because you're in this industry, so you probably know a lot of these. But for the audience, the prevalence of obesity was 42.4% in 17 to 18, and it's continuing to rise. And this is straight from the CDC's website. So from 99 to 2000 through 17 to 18, the prevalence of obesity increased from 30.5 to 42.4. So you can do the math. You can do the math and what that's done in the last 2 years, right? Right. And we see it, right? We go to our kids' schools, we go to the beach, we go out to the supermarket. I mean, we see it. Everywhere you look, it's just like you look around, it's like everybody is at least 20 pounds overweight, and visibly. And the prevalence of severe obesity has increased from 4.7 to 9.2. Obesity-related conditions include heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and then even certain types of cancer and premature death. This is what really gets me, because, and Sid, you've heard me go on a freaking rant about like, I don't have enough money for a gym membership, or I don't have enough money for HRT, or I don't have enough money for whatever. Estimated annual medical cost of obesity in the United States was 147 billion in 2008. In 2008, 147 billion medical costs in obesity. The medical costs for people who, this is in 2008, the medical cost for people who have obesity was $1,429 higher than those of normal weight. Now that's just like, I'm like,
those are facts too.
How much did McDonald's make those years, I wonder?
their profits are only increasing between now and then.
Crazy. That's nuts.
I mean, and okay, so that's that, right? Now we talk about being obese, and we talk about, like, especially right now, we're in a health crisis in America, right? This is a health crisis. Gyms are closed. You guys all know what's happening there. But McDonald's is open, and all the things that to continue the real true health. The number one leading cause of death in America is heart disease. Heart disease.
Yeah.
Next to that is cancer, which two of those things are led from obesity. There's like a direct correlation. So the two most dangerous things in America, heart disease and cancer. And like, that's the true health crisis. And this could not be, in my opinion, this could not be more of an issue today because of the way people are looking at things, and like everything that's going on with COVID could not be more important than now. Now, this is what's crazy to me. So going into like the Mayo Clinic, right? Looking at the Mayo Clinic and looking at just there's this very general, what is the causes of cardiovascular disease, right? So this is their thing. And you guys can, I hope I pronounce this correctly. The main thing of cardiovascular disease is arteriosclerosis.
Arteriosclerosis, yes, they're getting plaque in your arteries.
Plaque in your arteries
I wouldn't touch on that one either, Nick. Don't worry, buddy.
I'm again not a doctor. Is also the most common cause of cardiovascular disease, and it can be caused by correctable problems. So like, such as an unhealthy diet, lack of exercise, being overweight, and smoking. So things that we have fucking control over.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. I mean, I forgot the statistics on healthcare costs, but I'm pretty sure if you look at the statistics on like preventative healthcare, we spend over 70% of our healthcare budget on preventative care diseases. Preventative being the key word, so we can prevent you from getting this.
Yeah, but, and what I get frustrated by, and so Sid knows this, but Antoine, you probably don't know this. So we have a business called Agogi Training. So Agogi Training, we work with clients, we coach them on fitness, nutrition, and we've had amazing success. We do 4 challenges a year. We have monthly clients, and one of the things that, some of the things, obviously, we have lead generations and people call in and they say, hey, I want to lose weight. And these people are like, can be 300 pounds. And they're like, well, it's $150 a month. They're like, oh, I can't afford that. And I'm like, okay, so what happens when they have to chop your fucking leg off because you've got type 2 diabetes and now they've got to amputate your leg? We've got an amazing guy. He's 72 years old. That happened to him. He's lost over 100 pounds in the neighborhood. He takes his chair and walks around on his prosthetic, and he's like, right. Yeah, man, I had to lose 100 pounds, and I walked this loop 3 miles a day, because they tried to take my other one. I said, hell no. So he cleaned up his diet, but he's 72 years old, and it was completely. And he's like, man, it was completely preventable.
Yeah,
but but no, for $150, we don't have. We're gonna go. How much do you spend on bullshit at the store and sugar and all this kind of stuff? So it absolutely blows my mind, the twisted mentality of people where they put their money into things and they're like, I don't want to invest in X, but I'm going to keep spending my money on mocha choca bullshits and sugar that's essentially going to kill me that, and this is what I tell our clients. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your family, because they're the ones that are going to have to bury you when you die from heart disease or stroke or type 2 diabetes or whatever it may be. So I get a little fired up about that because I'm like, what?
Before that, the lifespan of you taking care of them, because they're going to be physically dependent on you. Because now, like you said, like them having to walk, or now you got to hire a home health aide to watch your parents.
Which is more cost for the family.
Yeah, it's nuts. I had a meme, man. I wish I saved it. It was one of my friends that was a trainer on Facebook, and he's like, $100 in supplements, can't afford it. Round of shots, going out with friends, gotta have it. Dinner for two on a Friday night, 150, but asking for a membership to support you, to take care of you, can't do it. I would assume, man, if somebody just went through their Uber Eats bill, like they would probably knock out, $50-$60. And it's easier for people to just make excuses than it is to do some self-reflecting and make a change.
Yeah. And that's,
so I take a different approach. When I have someone come through the door and they're like, I'm here for medical weight loss and it needs to be affordable, I tell them, do me a favor. What I really need to do is I need to understand what your menu's like a week and what you're spending your money on. And I actually have a budget before they come to me, and I'll have them email it to me. I'll line strike, what I feel like it's pretty damn close to what the cost is going to be. And I'll send it back to them like, hey, do you feel like you can cut this out? And they'll say, I don't know, this is going to be tough. Well, you feel like you can cut 50% of it out. And then I'll figure out a way to finance the medication for them. And that works really, really well because you paint them into a corner. And a lot of times, in my experience, is that they just need that jump start. Nick, you said, can someone take these drugs and sit on the sofa when we were just talking before, right? Well, I mean, listen, I tell people, if you're that lazy, start testosterone. By week 3, you're going to want to go to the gym.
That's true.
I suggest that. And listen, if they're going to be really, really stir crazy sitting on the sofa on testosterone without expending any of that energy. So
yeah, because they're typically, we've talked about this in the last webinar, but they're depressed. They don't have the energy. They don't want to do anything. They're not feeling good. But you're right. As soon as, week 3 on HRT, your levels are going to be back to normal, and you're going to be like, I got to go do something. I got to go accomplish something.
Yeah, you're right. And that's smart. Say that's the number one thing is setting correct goals and right expectations. Because, a lot of people want to do medical weight loss or any weight loss program, guys, and they want to lose 5 pounds a week. They want to lose, they put on whatever they put on in a year, they want to lose in 21 days or the first week.
We were talking about that the other day, dude.
I wish it was that simple, man. Did you guys ever realize true weight loss is half a pound to 1 pound a week? Legit.
And Antoine, this is what I tell people, and I start them out this way. I'm like, listen, you didn't get your ass into this situation overnight. You're not going to get out of it overnight. This is a daily to weekly thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing, man. But I'm glad you do set, because that's the number one thing is key expectations, having correct goals, and really just focusing on, having a small set of goals that work towards a larger set of goals, and just really taking it week by week, brick by brick, man, and build it up.
That's right.
So
leading into, okay. So I get a guy, I've had multiple people that are well over 300 pounds that are down into the 190s now. Okay. We get a guy that, our gal that, is wanting to lose weight. We got them on a proper nutrition plan. Okay. We've got them on a proper exercise program, and they're being consistent. Now let's get into these concoctions that you guys are talking about, which, for the record, everybody here that's listening, last Wednesday, tomorrow will be a week that I've started, the GW. Okay. And it's a 60-day prescription. So I got a little bit to go, but let's dive in, and you guys take it from here. And I want to learn more about these 3 things and what you guys are doing.
So I'm going to say a few things, then I'm going to let Anton take the floor. Sure. So there's,
that's smart. Go first. First.
Yeah, exactly. And then when he's done talking, so am I. So I'm about to jump off this thing. So, I started this entire protocol. I did some before and after pictures yesterday. I did my best to put on some weight in about 3 weeks in visceral, and I didn't work out at all. Right. And I tried to get myself in a place to where a lot of other people are, from sitting around the house doing nothing, some muscle wasting, softened up a little bit, got a little bit of a tummy. And And it was actually interesting to look at myself yesterday after taking the pictures, because it kind of sucked, right? But at the same time now, as of yesterday, I'm jump starting on the GW. I'm taking this whole entire protocol. So I'm going to be doing before and after pictures pretty much on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis. But Anton was down here visiting, and he was talking to me about these protocols. And this is the only thing I want to say about these protocols, which makes it so interesting. The way that he designed this protocol, when you slow down and think about it, is that not only is he setting up your body to propel and look better on the outside, but every single drug works with the other drug for internal support and overall health. So the way that it's designed, which he'll explain, for cholesterol, for the whole nine muscle, the whole 9 yards, you're getting an internal support as well as external support, overall health, as well as look good, feel good. So with that being said, Anton, why don't you take the floor and take 10 minutes or so, explain this stuff to us, and just remember, a lot of us didn't graduate high school here. Okay.
Fact.
You're good.
Right.
You're good, man. This is I'm going to break it all down to layman's terms. And the biggest thing that really comes down into it, the first product that we're going to look at is the GW 501-516. And what that really is, it's what they call a PPAR8 receptor, which is a perioxome proliferator activator receptor delta agonist. All you need to know is that this product really helps treat obesity, lipid disorders, and cardiovascular disease. And how it really works on that is what it's going to basically do is, it's been studied and concluded that as we age, our fatty acid oxidation in obesity attributed patients decrease in muscle. So what happens is, as we all know, like, we eat a lot of sugars, processed, much of carbs. They're either used for quick fuel in your muscle glycogen level stores. They're used right where your muscles, or it's going to store in your liver glycogen storage, and it's not a lot of storage. So most people that aren't working out, that's not training, they're just storing. And guess what? Insulin gets spiked, right? And insulin's main job is to facilitate the movement of glucose from that sugar. It can't stay in the blood. It's toxic to either get used for quick energy or store. Well, if you're not using it for energy and the storage is full, guess what it does? It converts into a fat because it can't stay as sugar. And that's how people start putting on all this excess weight and all this excess body fat, right? Well, they've shown studies to attribute that fatty oxidation, that whole process of your body utilizing sugar into the muscles and oxidating fats for energy, it slows down as you become obese. So then it's just like, man, the process of me burning the fuel and converting it is terrible. So then I'm eating all these extra sugars and carbs, and now I'm just sitting around, and the process of turning it into energy is shot. So you just keep storing more fat, and that's how you keep getting more weight. So it's been shown that this product, that GW 501-516, has results in helping reduce fasting plasma triglycerides. So it's going to reduce your triglycerides, your fats, and it's going to actually decrease your LDLs, which are your bad fats, and it's going to increase your HDLs, which are your good fats. So that, sign me up for that. And it's going to lower insulin sensitivity. So that's like a triple threat. And that's, like we just talked about, cardiovascular disease, right? So that's hand in hand. That's what we want to go for. It also upregulates skeletal muscle performance, which is amazing. So when you're training and you're working out, it's going to utilize those glucose, those sugars, whatever you're feeding your body, it's going to help with that. It's going to also go ahead and work on fatty acid oxidation. It's going to increase the amount of oxidation that you have in your skeletal muscle. That's amazing. The more fatty acids you oxidate, the more you can produce and burn. So when you put that right there, I mean, this one right there is amazing. It's going to help you increase your HDLs, decrease your LDLs. So it's going to work on your triglycerides. It's going to work on your insulin sensitivity. It's going to help your glucose utilization and increase fatty acid oxidation. Like, I mean, those are all like winners to me, especially an oral capsule. That's amazing. So that's how that product basically works and towards that. So I was like, well, what else can we really have? Like, what else do we have in the book of tricks right now that's new on the market to really help with people not only get the weight off, but kind of reset their mitochondria, right? Like, how do I really work on that? And there was a new product that called MOTS-C came onto the market. And what this is a peptide. It's encoded into the mTDNA.
PW is not a controlled drug, correct?
No, they're not. None of these are controlled substances.
Okay, great.
Yeah, none of these are controlled at all. So this MOTS-C product is basically, long story short, towards this, it's metabolically developed to regulate endocrine-like effects on muscle metabolism, insulin sensitivity, and weight regulations. So they kind of want to put this in a new class of its own peptide, and it's called like MDPs. But it basically works on humanin, which is another system in fashion to protect neurons against vascular systems from diseases, like toxic diseases and toxic insults. So basically, it's a gene expression, right? And it's going to help regulate your metabolism. So now you have something to help regulate your metabolism. And I can tell you, personally, when I did this, when I got done with taking MOTS-C, I would eat like 300 to 400 calories and I'd be full. And I can tell you, man, before Nick, man, I could put down 700, 800 like it was nothing, bro. Like, bomb, like all day. And I got done and I'm like, yo, this definitely worked on that because I was eating less and feeling full, not feeling like I have to like stuff myself more. So that was really great. But not only did this reset your metabolism,
that can kick in.
Yeah, you have to eat more. Like, yeah, I need to date you after you take this. The bill's going to be when we go out to dinner. I know that much. It's going to pay for itself.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So the MOTS-C also stimulated glucose utilization. So that's what we talked about, utilizing glucose. It also increased glucose clearance. So it increased the amount of glucose that's used, and it also increased the clearance of the amount that's used. So now you can use more and get more through. So that's amazing. And then it also increased the mitochondria and fatty acid metabolism. So here we go, talking about the fatty acid metabolism again. It's going to coordinate with that. But what it really did, it prevents high-fat diet-induced obesity by increasing energy expenditure, including heat production, improving glucose utilization, and insulin sensitivity. So, we already know. They already talk about reducing fats accumulation may be a result of robust carbohydrate usage that reduces fatty acid synthesis. We just talked about that with the other product, right? Reducing the fatty acid synthesis, and that's a problem. So both of these products are going to both help you improve glucose utilization and increase fatty acid oxidation. So, man, guess what you're doing when you're doing that? You're burning fat, you're having more energy, which in return should be making you feel better, whether it's getting that energy to get to the gym or mental clarity so you can produce better at work. All that stuff's amazing because, I remember my girl said, used to be just like, Antoine, you always have all this energy every day. Why do you have all this energy? I'm like, I don't know, man, I have energy. It's good. She wants to wake up and take a nap after she just woke up. I'm like, man, I'm trying to get up and tackle my day. Like I got stuff to do. So all this is going to help people do all that with getting energy. And then in return, also burning fat. I mean, come on, man, that's like a no brainer. I'll take it. So then the third product I want to talk about was NAD plus. And what NAD emerged, it's a key regulator of cellular process that controls the body's response to stress. So NAD boosters, they're small molecules that raise NAD levels. They're considered to be highly promising for treatment of multiple diseases and potential extension of a human's lifespan because it works kind of in a way of cellular senescence in a way. So by modulating NAD enzymes, it controls hundreds of clinical processes throughout the entire body and muscle metabolism and cell surviving. But basically, some things start to happen is as we age, the NAD levels start to fail, right? It leads to decline in functions of cells and organs. And by boosting the NAD, it has profound effects on health of survival of mammals. It promote cognitive and sensory functions, gluconeogenesis, so the producing of new cells to burn glucose. And the liver supports lipogenesis, so fat burning in adipose tissue, insulin secretion in the pancreas, insulin sensitivity in muscle. So it produces cell proliferation and protects cell against cardio and everything. So proliferation is regrown cells and everything. So it does everything. It even regulates your immune functions and inflammation and protects against acute injuries in kidneys, promotes extended fertility in both males and females. Man, it does so much for you. So I'm trying to give people medications to help them feel better, look better, increase their cell survival. It just everything on this triple stack should help you lose weight and feel great.
And the NAD before was only IV. Now it's essentially an IM injection. You can use even an insulin syringe for it, half inch. But I've been using a 25 gauge 5/8 to inject it. But before I took it IV when I was at Bulletproof Labs out in California, and that took me for quite the ride. I mean, it burnt like hell.
Yeah, it's a stinging sensation when it first goes in too. It does. That rush.
The rush is like, I don't know. I wouldn't call it a good time. But I took a pretty high dose yesterday, and I had no rush, and I'm feeling great today. So hopefully, this IM injection 3 days a week for the next 3 weeks, and you can drop that dosing down. Works well. But I felt amazing the last time I took the IV drip from it.
Yeah, because how long was that drip? It was like, what, 4 hours? How long was it? 1 hour?
No, it was like 2.5, 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing why we tried to get it for like the IM, because most people just don't have time to just sit around for 2.5 hours. They're like, I have to pick up the kids from soccer practice. I got to go grocery shopping. The husband.
Even if I had the time, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, so we went with the IM multiple times a week too. So it definitely comes to work out. So when you put all three of these together, it really is a triple threat.
So Antoine, let's rewind a little bit. I understood about 10% of what you said. So the GW
Sure.
in a short term, like no medical things, what does it do? Just to sum it up.
Yeah, so medically, basically what it does is it increases your fatty acid oxidation and glucose utilization. So
what does that mean?
So fatty acid oxidation is the way that your body's going to use fats for energy, basically. So the way that your body's going to burn fats for energy.
Okay, so it's using your storage as energy.
Correct. And glucose
utilization
involving so in human skeletal muscle, it increases. There's a gene, it's called a FAT-CD36. That's the gene expression that it changes in the way that's a paradelta agonist in that gene that oxidates the fatty acid oxidation. And it also increases glucose utilization in human skeletal muscle. So
that's what's making your muscle harder, more dense.
And not fatigue.
Fatigue. Okay.
Exactly. In a way, yeah, you're letting it's letting you process. Think of it as this drug is going to let you process your food that you're burning because food is fuel, right? That's what we're eating carbs for, whether you're using fats. I don't care which fuel source you're using. It's both used as fuel, right? Your body's always going to burn sugars before it gets to fats, right? So a lot of people think like, oh, because I'm doing cardio, I'm burning fat. No, most of the time, honestly, unless you're fasted, you're burning sugar. Unless you're in a fasted state, you're just really not going to get towards that level.
And based off the heart rate zone that you're in. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, and everything else. A lot of people, walk on the treadmill, their heart rate's at like 80 beats per minute, and they're not even
not doing anything.
It's not. I mean, come on. I mean, it's better than doing nothing, but ideally, there is a level that you want to keep your heart rate between when you're doing cardio, whether you're doing low state or HIIT or whatever. But regardless of whatever you're doing in that way, it's going to help utilize those sugars to be burnt and used up and increase the clearance and utilization. So you're going to clear more sugars and you're going to burn more sugars. And then it's also going to help increase fatty acid oxidation on the back end to instead of leaving that fat and converting into a fat and stay, it's going to use it and burn it for fuel.
Beautiful. Okay. And the next one, similar concept, like just break it down for me.
The MOTS-C?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's basically it's just think of it as a peptide that works to reset in the DNA metabolically to reset basically the homeostasis of your metabolism to help re-regulate your metabolism.
So that's the metabolism one. Okay.
Correct.
So it's resetting your metabolism so for somebody that's been overweight, they're super sedentary, their metabolism is just completely crashed. They're not burning anything.
Yeah,
it's going to reset that.
It's going to help reset that. And it's going to help work with muscle metabolism, insulin sensitivity, weight regulation, all that stuff. So that's the main goal, because this also does increase the glucose utilization and insulin sensitivity. And it does reduce the fat accumulation by robust carbohydrate uses by burning, once again, fatty oxide oxidation. So it does some of the same aspects of increasing glucose utilization, increasing fatty acid metabolism through fat oxidation, but they work on different pathways. So it's kind of like, there's multiple ways to get to the top of the tree, right? You have the brand, there's multiple branches. This is
like testosterone and precursor to similar.
Yeah, exactly. There's multiple ways to get to the end. So they're going to work on different pathways, and this works on humanin mostly. And off that gene, there's like another SORF gene. But anyway, long story short, they're working through different pathways to both help you get to the fact of burning more energy and using glucose utilization and fatty acid oxidation and towards that. But this also does really reset your metabolism. And that's why this is amazing, because look, we don't want to con people. I don't want you losing 30 pounds in 30 days and gaining 9 back over 60. Hell no.
Diet.
I want you to lose lifestyle. I want you to lose the weight and continue to keep it off and feel great and continue that aspect instead of just trying to find a quick fix, and that's why I really like this.
Okay, and the last one, the NAD.
Yeah, the NAD is just basically the reason why I love the NAD. It really works on like cellular senescence and cellular survival, and because of it works on so many different functions and organs in your body. that it really regulates your immune functions. It helps.
That's the one. Yeah. So it's really like almost like an immune booster.
Booster, yeah, it protects against acute injuries on the kidneys. It promotes extended fertility. It does so. It has so. It literally touches almost every aspect of the body. And as we get older, these levels of NAD drop. So when they're looking at people who have cardiovascular disease, liver disease, so like cirrhosis of the liver or whatever in their kidneys that they have another disease, they're looking at NAD levels and they're all low across the board on all of these candidates. So it's like, well, if these levels are low in all these diseases, maybe we should bump it up a bit. But the issue was that it wasn't that easy. You used to like sit, you had to sit for 2.5 hours in an IV. And even if that is the best product in the world, you know, it's just like people are like, look, man, they're not going to fall. Like it's not going to. So now that we can actually get into like an IM injection and a 28 gauge half inch works great. I know he said he's using a 25 gauge. You know, it works great, man. And this, you know, just take it more frequently, a lower dose more frequently than a higher dose less frequently. And you
just jump in too on that, just so you guys know that the MOTS-C and the NAD, those drugs need to be loaded. So what we do with that drug is everyone comes to the door when they buy our extreme weight loss package, which is what we kind of named it, with the NAD, the GW, and the MOTS-C. And the beginning stages of it, the first 60 days or first 30 days is actually pretty expensive. But keep in mind that cost is going to deteriorate dramatically because you need to load that drug because it's resetting things in your body. You need to hit really hard with it. And, you know, you're going to go from 3 injections for the MOTS-C down to, you know, 1 injection after that 4-week period, maybe 2, depending on how much where our goals are. And the NAD is 3 weeks, and you're dropping that down as well. So once you finish the loading phase, the protocol is actually very financially understanding. So, but in the beginning, it is costly. Just I want to let everyone out there know it is costly.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, Sid, because, you know, a lot of people might start researching these products as usual because everybody's a physician online, you know, these days, and they start looking at things and, you know, there's so many incorrect protocols out there to where it's like they make it cost effective for the patient, but does the patient really have a therapeutic dose to actually see a difference is what's important.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I think about it as stuff like if it's not cost effective for some people, I understand that maybe there's a different product we have and a different program that we can offer you. But I would for somebody to just, you know, spend the money and not see the results, not because they weren't putting in the work, just because they were, you know, underdosed. And that's a key to success is
you get what you pay for always.
Yeah.
A lot of clinics out there, Nick, will be like, oh, well, you know, this drug works great, but they're not, you know, to what he's saying is they're not giving enough of the drug or enough milligram of the drug or frequently enough for the patient to achieve any goals, but the clinic's making more money.
Right.
So it's that, like, you know, it's that
you're not truly taking care of the human being.
Exactly. You know,
you're looking at the best results for your client. Yeah. You're not looking at the best for your client. It's more about like
this one's not for everybody. I'll tell you that.
So Antoine, go back to your coaching and training days. Like, you know, I know you can't, diets are very, very particular to the individual, but in a perfect world, you take somebody that's, you know, 50, 60 pounds overweight, they get on this protocol, they're exercising, they're dieting. What kind of food, what kind of diet would you say is going to be the most beneficial to, and it's going to be broad strokes, and I probably have an answer for it already, but I just want to hear it from you. It's going to be most beneficial to an individual to get the maximum amount of return.
Yeah, it's a very good question. And 100%, you hit the nail on the head on the aspect of, you know, diets are individual per lifestyle, per routine, per frequency, and everything else. But the studies that were done on a lot of these products also too, to show you that, you know, people lowered LDLs and increased, you know, HDLs and lowered insulin sensitivity. A lot of these diets were going to more keto, more higher fat, low carb, and probably medium to moderate protein, even a higher protein diet, increasing their green vegetables on towards it. The biggest thing is staying away from processed foods. That's the number one thing. You know, if you pick up the back of your bread and it says enriched wheat, enriched flour, enhanced wheat, just throw it away. Trash, garbage. Don't even put it in your body. How you enhancing wheat? That should, you know, it's just 100% whole wheat. How you like, what is this? But it's people, spiking insulin all throughout the day. So ideally, more higher fat, you know, moderate protein, low carb, and then just increasing the green vegetables, because most people aren't eating, you know, even 1 cup of vegetables or green vegetables a day. If they get that really in, their water intake should be, you know, minimum half their body weight in ounces, getting a full 7-8 hours of sleep. So it really comes down to it. It's a total key. But I would go, if you're looking at like trying to hit some type of macros or do some type of numbers, definitely lower carb, higher fat, moderate protein is where you kind of want to go towards that.
That's interesting you say that, because with the more overweight clients that we have, we typically, especially if they're in the 300-pound plus, we typically go towards keto initially,
right?
To get that weight down to a more healthier, manageable, and then switch them to more of a balanced, healthier diet.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you said that.
Yeah. And I've seen people, and I would start somebody off on just the keto and just really, like we talked about, getting rid of those processed sugars, get rid of all that junk, and really like, I'm not going to kill you. You have a burger one night, like one bad meal doesn't get you out of shape. Like 5 good meals gets you in shape. Right. So, just more than not, you have to have a plan. You have to have a structure. And just like, look, man, if you're getting up that day and you don't know what you're eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's not really made, you're probably going to fail, because you're not setting yourself up for success.
Thank you.
So it's all about the prep, man. So when I speak with these clients, I'm like, dude, have you ever done a diet? Like, do you even own a food scale? Do you know what a macro is? Have you measured out food before ever? No, you never have. That's like people come around being broke and they don't even balance their books and finances, and they wonder why they're living paycheck to paycheck. It's like, dude, what do you expect? No one's, and I get it, Nick, because this stuff is never taught. It's, no, it's never taught in health class. It's not taught in school. People don't know what a fat, a protein, or a carb is. They don't know what it breaks down. Half the people don't even know what a calorie is most of the time. They don't even know how it all relates to their body. And they think weight loss is all about calories in, over calories out. And obviously it's not. I'm going to put you on 2,000 calories in keto. Looks completely different than 2,000 calories versus a balanced diet, or even a low fat, higher carb. You can go to carb cycling if you want to. You can really go to fasting. I've seen a lot of people really do more of like the fasting too, 16 off, 8 on. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people throw that into these protocols also too. And especially people that are that are pre-diabetic, man, we have to we got to get those insulin levels down. And the number one way to do that is intermittent fasting. It is amazing. It has a lot of health benefits, I can't even preach about it enough. But I really would love to see people try different nutrition plans and different diets and see what works best for you, and what's your point in doing also too. Like, are you including training, or are you just going to like do a little bit of walking every day and just still go to work and come home? Because that diet is going to be specifically different than a person that's looking to do strength training 5 days a week. He's going to do 4 days a week.
For the client that's severely overweight, like maybe walking to the end of the street and back once a day, maybe that's the start.
That's everything. That's all it is, man. Everybody thinks the gym is exercise. Like, dude, the gym is just a place people go to exercise. Like,
that's training.
I bought a brand new bike, man. Went to cycling, got a jump rope. Dude, started jump rope and doing jump ropes in between. I don't have to go to a gym to work out, man. Get up every day, do a little bit of push-ups, do some sit-ups. Just start somewhere and start slow. And
it'll grow.
It will, man. It will.
Yeah,
but that's the hardest thing, because it's demoralized, because everybody wants to do what they did when they were like 16, 17. Like, I remember when I used to do 20 pull-ups, and now I could do 2. And
yeah, me too.
It's all right. That 2 goes to 3. That 3 goes to 4. But the only way you're going to get is when you put in, and just be consistently consistent. But I definitely think for the clients that we're looking for this, that are like, you have a obesity and they're having issues, get them to losing a lot of the weight first. 'Cause I'll tell you what, man, taking 20 pounds off and then trying to start working out in the gym is a lot easier than just going in there with the 20 pounds. Yeah. I can tell you that right now. Everything's a lot easier when you're a little bit lighter.
Yeah. Excellent. Sid, what do you got?
I got a whole lot of nothing after that. I mean, you guys really did a great job there. You guys didn't even need me today.
I like being here,
though. So just on the protocol side of things, feel free to contact us. Even though these aren't controlled substances, we're going to want to get your blood work done if you're a new patient. Obviously, this stuff goes really, really well. We don't really have to get too deep into it because it'll take quite some time, but these peptides do really well with those people that are on AOD as well right now. You can incorporate your AOD and your other peptides with this stuff. Doesn't interfere with your testosterone or your HRT. We're going to prefer that you're on that, prior to maybe starting this as well. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat with these meds. And Anton, thank you so much for coming on and supporting us. And you had some great analogies, which Nick and I really like.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And we thank you for your support. At the pharmacy, you guys can put a face with a name. This is where all your drugs come from. Don't piss off the drug dealer. All right, here he is. And
sure. I'm glad you brought that AOD. That's another great product, to stack with that also too. If you're looking just for some fat loss, especially around like the midsection and everything else, that's another great product too. So yeah, for sure. Peptides that's the one thing that's really good about peptides. They have no drug to drug interaction. So they all work through different multiple pathways because it's all about sending signals, so it's all signaling. Each peptide has a specific receptor that it has a signal that attaches to. So it's amazing where you can stack a lot of these things together. So when you put everything that you have together, like you said, it's like just a whole goodness of wealth of wellness right then and there.
Well, thank you, boys. I am going to mosey on down the road. Nick, is there anything else you need from me, buddy?
No, that's it. We'll call it there.
Hey, listen, thanks so much for allowing us to come on this. I know we've been we've committed to like once a month here, so that's really, really cool. And the last video we did, dude, I mean, I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, the feedback we got was just, and I always say if I could have one demographic of patients, it would be like vets, first responders, active military, because they're so grateful. The gratitude. I mean, the amount of followers, the amount of interaction, the DM that I personally got, I can't imagine what you dealt with, but like, it was just awesome. And people have such gratitude, and this stuff's a little bit more intricate than the basic HRT, but Nick always says, provide people with information and they're grateful. So I think the more the merrier here. So guys, thanks a lot.
Iron sharpens iron, right? I mean, they all go hand in hand, to get you to achieve your wellness. So I definitely agree with it. And let me know, Nick, if you ever need, if you have any questions or any of those DMs that you're not sure on answering this question or anything, man, just let me know. I'm more happy.
Where can people find you, Antoine?
Dude, you could just shoot us over an email, man, Antoine@slcompounding.com. Shoot me over an email. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you guys might have or anybody else might have about any of the products or peptides or concerns or anything like really that they're looking towards that stuff. That's
check out the Instagram too. He's quite the model on there.
Yeah,
he's quite chiseled back in the day, Nick.
Yeah, man.
Young and in very good shape. He's got all the weapons. This guy.
What's your IG?
Yeah, man. It's at TwanJohn42, man. I try to stay off social media as much as possible as I used to, man. I used to be more into it. Now I try and focus more on just honestly just doing more research, seeing what I can do for more people, man. The time I'm spending browsing social media isn't as much time I could be putting my head into a book and doing something more productive. Yeah, 100%. Than watching everybody else live their lives towards it. But it is a great platform and towards it. But yeah, at TwanJohn42, it's on there also too for that stuff.
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much.
All right.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the webinar. Like I said, we're gonna be doing those once a month. If you have not watched the most recent one, go to that. That's Josh and I talking about our story in HRT and being on or leaving the military, coming off of it, trying to have kids while being on HRT. It was just absolutely nuts. But it was a great story. We heard from a lot of other people there. Sid shared a lot of things, and there's just probably the most compact amount of data within an hour webinar that I've ever produced. So that was pretty cool. And again, number one cause, man, obesity in America, and the maps that is shown, everything that we shared. It's scary, right? And there's a lot of different reasons for that. Our food sources, the way our food is grown, marketing, lifestyles, jobs, everything that's happened in America has completely changed over the last 30 years. And over the last 30 years, you've seen this go from like a 5% obesity rate in America to damn near 50% now. And that's freaking scary, right? So, if you're that individual, then and you're ready to make a change, hit these links below. Get signed up for the Gogi training if you want help there. If you want to do it on your own, just start doing something. Start being active. Start eating better. Eat less calorically than you're burning in a day, and you'll lose weight. It's simple as that. You guys know the deal. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell. Share this with a friend who needs to hear it because it might just change their life. And you guys know, never quit, never surrender, always forward. And we'll see you guys in the next video.